What's up, and welcome to Los Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Aslam, aka Raw God of the Sun, accompanied by Dan Papa Sun Killer and Dan Emperor Disco. How's it going, fellas?
It's going.
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Glad to be back. Missed the last episode, so I always feel like I miss part of myself when we miss these episodes. So it's good to be back.
That was deep.
Yeah, the rest,
You're welcome. You're welcome.
yeah. Spoilers, and he's dead. Um,
Oh man.
sorry.
So is that the third iteration of that intro that you've made?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. I like it. I
It
like
was
that.
cool. I like
It
that.
just
It was cool.
broke.
Hey, Henry, welcome back. Happy
Oh,
birthday.
Henry's in here. Let's go, Henry.
Yes, you've
Oh
been missed,
yeah.
my friend.
Happy birthday, Henry. Today's
Happy
episode is
birthday.
inspired by you, sir.
It is inspired by you, Henry.
So
So we
basically,
hope you enjoy.
many years ago, literally years ago. That's how long we've been podcasting. Ain't got nobody but Henry watching this.
No, we don't. It's gotten less. It's only Henry at this point.
Yeah, Henry. Remember a while ago you came up with an idea where you texted us and you're like, "Hey, what if you guys did like creepypasta or like SCP or something?" We're like, "Yeah," like we talked about. I remember telling you it's just like I know a little bit about it. The guys they kind of know a little bit about it, but not really. Like it's something that would be kind of tough. Yeah, so we're gonna read a creepypasta live on here, and we're gonna try to do voices while we're doing it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Henry. I've been getting back into creepypastas, listening to them like at work and stuff. So yeah, so we're gonna do that and see if we can entertain you and us because there ain't nobody else.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, honestly, we do this for our own entertainment
Honestly,
at this
yeah.
point.
Honestly, it's just nice to get back with the boys and Henry and whoever else jumps in chat sometimes
No.
randomly.
No. The last couple times there was that one random bot that keeps on giving us ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like do this to get more followers. Maybe we should listen. I don't know.
I'm
Exactly.
good.
No, we're good. I'm
Good.
happy. We got Henry.
Oh,
Sometimes Socks guy comes in too.
Henry's
so-
all
Yeah,
we
Jack
need at
comes in
this.
every once in a while.
Henry's all we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, so he wasn't on for a couple episodes, and I reached out. I was like, hey man, you
Hey, get
good?"
on there.
No, I just wanted to make sure.
Sir, we meet every 2 weeks around the same time. Where have you been?
We
So I
need
just
you.
had to check up on him, make sure he was okay, and he was like,
Uh.
"Yeah, I'm good. Just wasn't getting the notifications." So
Yeah, what
but
other
yeah.
podcast is going to do that? What other podcast is going to have the people who do the podcast
Yeah.
reach out to the audience member? Hey, where you been?
Yeah.
How come you're not
Got
there?
it. Our number
You've been
one
injured.
fan
What
over
happened,
here.
man? You good?
Oh no,
Told you
Oh,
we're getting
no.
old. We're getting
Yeah.
old, Henry.
we are getting old.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Oh
Oh, man.
boy. Well, Henry, I hope you're doing okay. Glad you're joining us. And let's jump in, I guess.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, oh, jeez.
Oh
Henry.
dang, you got the trifecta. What? That sounds like
Damn, bro.
What are you doing, sir?
somebody hexed you, son. Dang.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Man. Oh, I hope you're doing a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Work.
Yo, you can't
what the
just
fuck
you
you
can't
doing
say
at-
that.
what
You
the
can't
fuck-
say that, sir.
What are you doing at work?
Just work.
What kind of job? What are you, like a demon hunter? Like what
Oh my
happened?
God. Oh
Yeah,
man.
that's
So-
crazy.
So I know that those are three separate things. When I first read it, I don't know why I thought of like one, like when it said slice your skin off a little, I thought you put it back. When you said pull my back, I was
Yeah,
like, this man just put his skin back on. That's wild.
that's
yeah.
crazy, bro.
Oh, I hope it gets better.
I hope so too.
Oh man. All right. Let's speaking of crazy people, let's we're gonna jump into this real quick. So this comes from the infamous no sleep subreddit. Those of you that know, well, if you know, you know. And this is by Malia Girl 1314. This came out about 4 years ago, as of this date, May 21st in the year of our Lord 2026. This is entitled "My wife has been peeking at me from around corners and behind furniture. It's gone from weird to terrifying. So, yeah, we're going to read this. And like I said, guys, feel free to stop, discuss, and laugh and speculate and do whatever. I'll be doing the same just to kind of make it interesting, make it a conversation.
So then, do you want to take the guys' dialogue, or do you want to take the girls' dialogue?
So we'll kind of see when it comes up, like
Yeah,
who's who, and then I don't know, whoever wants to jump in. I'm pretty sure it's more than two voices.
yeah,
If you guys want me to take one, I don't mind. I'll take one too. I don't care.
that's fine. All right, just start it.
Let's do it.
And we'll
Yeah,
go
yeah,
from
we'll
there.
jump in. Whatever.
You
Yeah,
wanna
set
you
the
wanna get
ambiance.
there? It is. I was just about to ask for that.
Oh,
The intro does sound a lot like the No Sleep podcast, and then it changes. Like, okay, we're good. Like, we get sleep? No, all right. Okay. My wife, Lynn, and I have been together for 6 years and married for 11 months. Our entire history together has been very normal, and never once have I noticed any weird behaviors or red flags. I can't stress enough how out of character this whole thing is for her. Lynn is very kind, intelligent, and thoughtful. She's always been the no nonsense type of person. Being childish or trying to scare me is not something she'd normally do. She doesn't even like watching horror movies. Lynn. Sorry, that's me.
What a loser.
Uh, when we
Whack.
first started dating, she
Divorce
agreed to
her
watch
immediately.
Shining. What's that?
I said divorce her immediately.
Who doesn't like horror movies?
I mean, I don't, but I still watch them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, nice.
When we first started dating, she agreed to watch The Shining, good movie, with me because she knew how much I loved horror. I wouldn't call it horror; it's more anyway. She was so scared that she didn't even make it through half of the movie before we had to turn it off. She isn't into anything creepy and never been into pranks. It's just not her cup of tea. And that's fine, but that's what's so strange about this. It's just so unlike her. I should also add that she never had any mental health issues, and as far as I'm aware, it doesn't run in her family. I know some people are able to hide their mental health problems, but the 6 years we've been together, I think I'd have seen some. I'd seen some sort of sign. I was on
You
a
got
roll there,
this,
guys.
brother. You
I
got
was on a roll. I was doing really good up until that part.
Yeah.
honestly.
2 months ago, I was in the kitchen making myself some coffee before work. I was running a bit late that morning and knew I wouldn't be able to make it to Dunkin' Donuts for my usual morning fix. I took a sip of my coffee as I hurried down the hall towards the front door when I happened to notice Lynn peeking at me from around the corner ahead of me. I could only see her eyes and a strand of her long hair hanging against the wall. The rest of her body was concealed behind the corner. I nearly spilled my coffee when I saw her. I did burn the shit out of my lips.
Jeez, Lynn, I said, wiping a few drops of coffee from my pants. You scared the shit out of me. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
First of all, that's some real ass skill to hide your whole body behind.
Yeah. And
that,
just like half your face is just like,
like that would hurt.
yeah. That's,
In my current condition, I probably pull something doing that
you
shit.
know, that's the thing. Just a little side note, because we were talking about how we're getting old and it's hard to do things. After what Henry told us, I don't think we're allowed to complain.
That's very true. That's very true.
All right. She immediately popped out of view like a little kid that had been caught. I heard her scurry off towards the living room, and by the time I got to the front door, she was out of sight. That's weird.
Yeah, no, I think your wife's been replaced by a skinwalker, my man. Like,
It could be, or it's like, look, put it in real world context. You guys are actually married. If this were to happen, what are you guys initially going to do? Like, just this part. Obviously, it's going to get crazier.
Shooter.
Okay, so like Nadia would do some, like she would.
Oh, this is Nadia for sure. That's just in your mind. Oh.
Because like I'll be in the office like working zoned in, and the door will be cracked open, and like she'll be like walking around and stuff or whatever, and then like notice me how zoned in I am and not notice, and then she'll like stop at the door in the crack and just look at me through that until I notice. And I'm just like, just like fucking weirdo, and then she just like laugh and just walk away. But
has there ever been a moment where it takes you a really long time to notice and she's just standing there?
yeah, and I'm like, that's real commitment for
It's
you.
committing to the bit. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Do you get like that sixth sense, like somebody's watching me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just like I'll be like working and I like look over and I'm like, and also because my eyesight's bad. I mean, the door isn't that far away, but I usually don't turn on the lights in the office when I'm working. So it's like darker and then like the hallway will be dark. And I'm talking about like normal working hours, but the sun doesn't reach that far in through the door and stuff. So it's just like I'll look and it'll take me a second to make out that there's someone there.
I love it. Just there, just
Yeah,
waiting.
yeah,
I got stuff to
Creep
do. He won't
factor.
notice me.
for
All right,
real.
where were we? It was really weird and just totally out of character for her, like I said. But I also found it kind of funny that she was being more playful and a little less serious. I shouted that I loved her and called her a weirdo. As I shut the door behind me, I heard her laughing. I guess in the context, okay. Her behavior was a bit odd, but it certainly wasn't something to call a priest over.
Mhm.
I forgot about it by lunch, and by the time I got home, she was her normal self. I didn't bring it up, and neither did she, and life went on. The
Mm.
next incident happened 3 days later. It was around 2 a.m., and I had woken up to get a drink. I was standing at the kitchen island, jug of OJ in hand, when I felt a strong feeling that I was being watched. For whatever reason, I looked down at the floor and saw my wife's smiling face staring back. She was peeking at me from the other side of the island, staring up at me with unblinking eyes and grinning like the Cheshire cat. I screamed, I'll admit it, not out of irritation but fear. For some reason at that moment I was scared. For some reason.
Yeah. That's not
I
his
can't
wife,
put
though.
my finger on it.
I know, but watch her, like, him leave and then be like, "Oh, she's in bed. How'd she get here so fast?"
So you think it's like another entity like in the house that's
Yeah,
embodied?
I don't let's
Okay.
see. I don't know. This doesn't seem like,
Yeah.
cause like, he got out of bed sleeping with her and went to
Mm.
get OJ, and then she somehow got out of bed.
She probably got out after him. He's he's,
He
he's there for a minute. He's drinking his orange juice, and then she came
Sure,
walking out.
but he didn't hear anything? Like, is this man deaf? Unless
Maybe
he's
And
like
is
you're
she a
blind.
ninja?
Your wife's just sitting there staring at you. You don't realize it.
Sure, but, like, at nighttime, everything is like you can hear a pin drop
Yeah,
at
like you're
night.
hyper focused. I got
Yeah.
you. Okay. At the sound of my scream, Lynn scuttled away. The fact that she scuttles. That's the second time she's scuttled. There's something going on.
Backwards, though,
Oh,
that's
yeah. At the sound of my scream, Lynn scuttled backwards out of my view, just like the exorcist. Her hands and feet were smacking the tile floor as she hurried out of the kitchen on all fours.
yeah, I'm
I
telling you,
didn't
bro.
run after her or
Mm.
even yell after her. I just stood there frozen in shock, wondering what the fuck had possessed her to do that. It took me a little longer than I'd like to admit to go back upstairs, but I eventually did. When I got to our bedroom, Lynn was lying on her side asleep, or at least pretending to be. I stood there for a while, watching her breathing to be sure she was really asleep.
This
I,
man is brave. I would be having my Bible, a little holy water, just to just
Nah, I would've
sprinkle him
just
just
walked in the room
eat.
and turned on the light.
what just happened? We're gonna
Yeah.
discuss this. Oh man.
Mm.
I had the feeling she might just jump out at the and I had the feeling she might jump out at me the moment I got into bed, but she didn't. I climbed into bed and she didn't even move. Her breathing was soft and deep, and I was starting to wonder if I dreamt the whole thing.
Nah, it just wasn't her, my man.
The next morning, I waited for her to come down for coffee, and after handing her mug and kissing her cheek, I decided to ask her about it. That's that.
Alright, I guess I'll go. What
Yeah,
was
too.
that about last night? I asked, keeping my tone light so I didn't offend or embarrass her. Sh Okay.
Yeah, she frowned over her cup of coffee, shaking her head like she had no clue what I was referring to.
"You were peeking at me again from over there," I said, pointing to the spot on the floor by the kitchen island.
She followed my gaze, and when she looked back at me, she burst out laughing. She laughed so hard that I couldn't help but join her.
"You creep me the fuck out sometimes, you know that," I said. Damn. She giggled and set her cup on the counter and wrapped her arms around my neck.
You creep me out all the time, so I guess we're even.
She teased. Thank you, Disco. We said our goodbyes and left for work. As I drove, I kept thinking about how creepy it had been seeing her grinning at me from behind the island like that. the sounds her hands made on the floor as she crawled away. I told myself she was just trying to be silly. That's Lynn, just trying to join me in my love of all things horror.
I mean, it also could just her be sleepwalking and not realizing she's
Yeah,
sleeping.
on all fours, backwards, crawling.
Yeah, she saw that one horror movie, and now her subconscious is like, we're going full
Maybe she's
demon
like
possession.
astral projecting some weird version of herself or something.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it's not like I was afraid of her, but it still didn't sit right with me.
Nah, you scared, my man.
I started seeing her peeking at me more and more. Sometimes she'd be peeking out from behind the couch or living room curtains. Once she even managed to get inside her grandmother's old trunk that sits at the foot of our bed.
Oh
This
man,
chick
she's
is
good.
wild. Okay.
She's in a trunk.
Yeah.
Henry said hot.
Henry's just hot, all
Yeah.
caps. I might not have even known she was there at all. Hang on. I might not have even known that she was there at all had the trunk's old hinges not given her away. She'd had the lid propped up just enough so that only half her face peeked through. She'd been grinning like an excited toddler. It was unnerving. I didn't even know what to say to her. All I could do was stare. When I finally found my voice, I asked her why on earth she was doing this. She didn't answer, but she had slowly closed the lid, shutting herself inside the trunk. I just walked away feeling disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
She's in a trunk. He
Yeah.
sees her. She sees him, laughs, and then closes the
Yeah.
trunk.
I would have just went and opened the trunk, and then he could have found out that this is a ghost or some shit.
I don't know. That's where you open it up and throw a Bible inside and then close it. I didn't understand why she was doing it, but it clearly made her happy. Oh, Lynn. I just hope she would tire of the game quickly. Lynn didn't peek at me for the next 2 weeks. I started to think she was done with her weird prank, and I was relieved. We were watching a show on Netflix one night, and I jokingly said that I hadn't seen her peeking at me lately, and that she must have given up on her spy game. She looked at me with a small smile and said,
Maybe I've just gotten better at it.
I didn't say anything, but I wondered whether or not she was joking. For the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about what she'd said. Was she still peeking at me when I wasn't looking and I just hadn't noticed? And if so, what the hell was she getting out of this? I started to feel paranoid, constantly checking whether she was watching from around the corner or behind a door. I was jumpy whenever I was home, and she wasn't in full view of me. I felt stupid and a little crazy. But after a few weeks without another incident, I began to relax. I stopped checking behind furniture and walls and told myself it was just a bad memory. Then a few days ago, things got so much worse. Lynn left to go to a friend's, and I lounged on the couch and played a couple games on my laptop. Around 9 p.m., I hopped in the shower, and as I was washing the soap from my hair, I felt that awful feeling that I was being watched. I slowly opened my eyes and almost had a fucking heart attack. Lynn was peeking from behind the shower curtain. Her entire head stretched into the shower, leaving just her body outside. Her long dark hair hung against the curtain, the ends dripping with water. Her mouth hung open in a terrible grin, eyes wide and red, as if she hadn't blinked in a while. I screamed and jumped back against the wall. She didn't move, nor did she smile, nor did her smile waver. Her makeup ran down her cheeks in two black streaks. She looked giddy and completely deranged. I was fucking terrified.
I would have tripped and
Yo,
banged my head, yo, in the
yo,
shower.
either this chick is like possessed or sleepwalking or something, or she's playing a diabolical mind game with this dude, bro. Maybe she
What's
just
the
wants,
end goal
Ultimate
if that's the
maybe
spousal
case?
she just
prank.
wants him to break up with her, and she doesn't want to, man up and just be like, I'm not feeling this anymore.
Hang
After
on. I'm going to scroll up. How long have they been together?
11 months married, but they've been together for 6 years.
So, okay, yeah. So it's like they know each other.
Yeah, so it's just like maybe she's like, nah, I'm not feeling this marriage anymore.
How do I get out of it? Okay.
Trying to sabotage her marriage. The most
I'm
interesting
just gonna
way.
creep him out until he divorces me.
I mean, it probably
Divorce
would work.
paperwork. She creeps me the fuck out.
All right. We stood like that for a few moments, neither of us saying a word. Finally, after what felt like forever, she slowly pulled her head back out of the shower, and I watched her blurry figure through the curtain as she moved backwards toward the bathroom door. A second later, the bathroom door slammed shut, hard enough to rattle the mirror. I screamed again and jumped out of the shower to lock the door. I stayed inside the bathroom for over an hour. Maybe I overreacted to some of you, but joke or not, I wasn't going to put up with the crazy shit anymore. That's what I kept telling myself as I paced in my bathroom, stopping to listen at the door every few minutes. Suddenly, I heard a muffled sound, and I pressed my ear against the bathroom door, straining to listen. I couldn't hear anything, but I envisioned Lynn standing on the other side of the door, giggling at her joke. I felt a surge of anger. I was beyond pissed at being made to feel scared in my own house and made to hide in the bathroom for an hour. All for what? Some joke? If it was a joke, that was an awful one.
What the fuck, Lynn? I snapped. This shit is getting really fucking annoying. I waited for her to apologize or to call me a jerk, but instead, I heard a faint moan, so quiet I wondered if I heard it at all, and then complete silence. Lynn? I called out, not able to even hide the shakiness in my voice. I got no response, just my own heavy breathing. I swear to God, just fucking stop it, I yelled, pounding my fist on the door. I
I
waited.
waited.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go
Uh,
ahead.
I waited for her to cuss me out. Something I would expect from me talking to her like that. I never screamed at her before, but there was nothing. Just the occasional drip from the shower head. I won't deny that I was scared, too afraid to open the damn door and face my own wife. I waited another 30 minutes or so, which feels like a fucking lifetime when you're scared. Finally, I decided I wasn't going to spend the night hiding in my bathroom. So I got down on my knees and peered under the door. I almost expected to see her face peeking back at me, but
That
thankfully
would
I didn't.
crazy.
Imagine.
That would have been crazy, bro. Ay, ay, ay.
I could see
She,
straight down the
she is in
hallway.
his head. Like,
For real. She
She
wants a
living rent
divorce.
free in that head now.
I could see straight down the hallway to the top of the stairs, but no Lynn. I didn't know if I should be happy about that or not. I looked for a few minutes, waiting to see her head pop up over the top step, but it never came. I stood up, my hand hovering over the door, and mentally prepared myself to open it. I slowly turned the lock with shaky fingers and was about to yank it open when I heard a sound that still makes me feel nauseous when I think about it. A moan, louder than before, but this time I was able to tell just where it was coming from. I turned my head to the closet door as if in slow motion and locked my eyes with my wife, who was peeking out at me from the slight gap.
Jesus.
She never left the bathroom.
Oh.
She's still in there.
oh, good.
Oh my God.
Oh man, her eyes were still wide as ever, and her mouth was hanging open in the most grotesque gaping smile I'd ever seen. I didn't even scream. I was too scared for even that. Her hands were clasped to her chest, body trembling with sheer delight, as if she could barely contain her excitement. A short, raspy moan bubbled up from her throat, deep and raw, sending a shiver through my entire body. Somehow, I found the ability to pull the bathroom door open, and as fast as I could, I ran as fast as I could all the way down the steps, snagging my keys and phone from the table in the living room before running outside to my car. I could hear her shrill laughter behind me, but I didn't hear her getting closer. I didn't bother shutting the front door. I drove away from the home faster than I legally should have, shivering the entire time, either from the fear or cold, maybe a little of both. I hadn't grabbed a coat or even a pair of shoes. I was still in my boxers and my hair was still damp.
Damn.
I drove straight to my brother Chris's house about 40 minutes away, ignoring any and every call and text I got. I didn't check my phone until I was safely parked in my brother's driveway. Lynn had called a f- Lynn had called 4 times and sent a flurry of texts, all wondering where I'd gone and why I'd left like that. I threw my phone at the dash in a rage, furious at her nonchalant attitude. My brother and his wife were surprised to see me, especially dressed in just a pair of boxers, but told me to stay as long as I needed. Chris lent me some clothes and asked me what happened. I told him Lynn and I had a fight, but didn't get into the details. I didn't want him to think I was overreacting, leaving my wife over a prank, even if it was a strange one. I mean, Hadn't I encouraged her for years to lighten up instead of being so serious all the time?
This ain't light, bro. This
I
is
wanted her to relax and loosen up, but this was definitely not what I'd had in mind. This man abandoned his home.
yeah. I mean, if
uh,
this is her plan, she's getting what she wants, bro.
yeah.
This is some Gone Girl level shit.
All right. I tried to sleep on their sofa, but my brain wouldn't let me sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Lynn's face staring at me from inside the closet. Knowing she'd been in there with me the entire time had made my skin crawl. She'd never left the fucking bathroom at all. Instead, she slipped inside the closet and slammed the bathroom door shut to fool me. The mere thought of going back home gave me anxiety. I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Chris ended up giving me a sleeping pill so I was able to get rest. My sleep was filled with terrible dreams, all of Lynn's smiling face. I woke that's his wife.
Yeah.
I woke up just as the sun started to rise. My sore body ached from the sofa and I felt drained. I knew I'd have to call Lynn at some point, but I didn't know what to say to her. I wouldn't be going home unless she gave me her word she'd never do any more creepy shit. I just wanted my wife back. No, her normal, serious self never looked so good to me. I was contemplating calling her and telling her that when the familiar feeling came over me. Oh, God. I was being watched. I was staring at the ceiling, my heart in my throat. I didn't want to look away, but the longer I ignored the feeling, the worse it got. My eyes drifted away from the ceiling almost on their own. Her face was pressed up against the window beside the couch,
Wow.
staring down at me with that same gaping smile. Drool dribbled down her lips, leaving two long streaks down the glass. I didn't know how long she'd been there, but something told me she'd been there quite a while, possibly all night. I didn't bother screaming, though I was afraid anger trumped any fear I felt at the moment. I jumped up from the couch and pounded my palm against the glass.
Lynn, are you crazy? What the hell's wrong with you? Just go home, I shouted. Now.
She didn't move, and her ghastly expression never changed. If anything, her smile only grew, as if she'd never been more elated. I could hear Chris and his wife moving around upstairs. As if Lynn could hear them from her place outside, her head twitched slightly in their direction, and she began to close her mouth slowly. Chris called my name from upstairs, obviously concerned. I turned to see him and his wife Rebecca hurrying down the steps. When I turned back to the window and Lynn was gone, the only sign she'd been there at all was the two streaks of drool dripping down the glass. I tried to explain to Chris and Rebecca about waking up to seeing Lynn watching me through the window. They were skeptical, who wouldn't be? Chris and I went outside to the spot in front of the window, but there were no footprints in the dirt, just a slight indent. Animal, probably, Chris guessed, and I didn't argue. He and Rebecca assumed I dreamt the entire episode, but they didn't understand, and I was too tired to explain it to them. I called out of work that day and turned my cell off. I didn't want to face Lynn. Just talking to her was too much for me at that point. I really started to believe something was irreversibly wrong with her, that no matter what promises she made, we'd never be the same again. The thought saddened me to my core. I cried most of the morning. By noon, I figured I was ready to confront her, give her one last chance to explain herself. I could at least give her that after 6 years, I told myself. I turned my phone on and saw the dozens of texts she sent, all from seemingly concerned wife.
Can we talk? I love you. Please call me. I'm really worried. Can you answer? Just come home.
It's more creepy when it's Disco's voice. Oh man.
Just come home.
So real quick, so do you guys think it's an entity still, or do you think it's her?
It's interesting. The
Uh,
whole no footprints there or
There
like
was just
just
a
an
small
indent.
indent, right?
Yeah. But where the drill come from? Do entities
Both are
dream?
scary though. Like, what if his wife just has been deranged the whole time and he didn't notice? Like, that's kind of scary too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then also just like, what if she is possessed or like something is controlling her? That's
yeah.
scary too in itself. What do
Or
you
it's a
do as the
skinwalker,
husband? Like,
bro.
a
I knew
skinwalker? Yeah,
I knew I liked the story. I don't remember it too well, but I remember liking this one.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, and more. Okay. Just come home. You said okay, and more of the same. All texts telling me she loved me and she wanted me home. How worried she was. Not a damn one addressing the crazy shit she pulled. Like she hadn't been acting like a character from a Stephen King book.
Oh, do you think she has a crazy twin?
Could be,
You
Oh,
know,
that's interesting.
could be
different personalities, or she has multiple
split
personalities.
personalities.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
that would be
My
interesting.
my thing though is like when you watch a horror movie.
Hmm.
Normally, the bad guy or bad guys, whatever it is, has a reason for doing what they're doing.
Yeah,
So it's like at the end of the day, it's like you could tell by like the way they're describing it. Like she's giddy. Like there was the time where he was like so scared. She even had her like hands like up against
yeah,
her chest. She was like excited. Like she
yeah.
was giddy with excitement and everything. So there's something about that. If only there was a family member of hers that he could talk to. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
I
I
think I
wonder
remember
if
that. I
maybe he
remember that
cheated
part.
or
That I think
something,
that does
and
happen.
true.
maybe he cheated, and this is just for revenge. Like,
Oh, that would be hilarious.
That'd be a cool reveal.
Yeah.
drive him
Yeah.
insane.
All right. So even her texts were different. She normally texted novels just to tell me to pick up a loaf of bread. You'd think she'd have more to say to me after her bizarre shenanigans. I know it probably seems childish to some of you who are miles away from the situation, but if you saw the way Lynn had looked at me, how she scampered away on all fours like some wild animal, grinning at me from inside the closet like a lunatic, then I think you'd find my reaction was warranted. I ended up staying with Chris and Rebecca for another night. I didn't wake up yesterday until afternoon, and thankfully, I didn't see Lynn's face watching me through the window.
I don't want to pry because it's not my place, but is this fight something that can be mended? Oh, that was Rebecca. Like
I
deep
was
message?
waiting.
Like
I was
deep
waiting for you to get to that part.
Okay.
That- yeah, I can be Rebecca if you want.
That's fine. I don't care.
Uh,
Um,
He's Rebecca now too.
yeah, yeah,
You're about to have a conversation with yourself.
yeah. She'd made both of us a sandwich for lunch, and I knew she wanted to breach the subject without seeming nosy. I don't know. I just she's like a different person. I said, choosing my words carefully. I still wasn't ready for her or Chris to know the full extent of the batshit craziness I had been dealing with. People change, Ben, but she's still the same woman you married. Maybe you both just need to talk through your issues, whatever's going on. I'm sure it can be fixed, she said, ever the peacemaker. I think it's beyond that now. I don't think talking would help. I just don't trust her. I said the words stung in my heart. I missed and loved my wife, but how could I live with someone like that? Living in a constant fear didn't sound too appealing. Lynn loves you. She has to be absolutely crushed, she said. I don't know about that, I said. Well, she certainly seems like it to me. I've never seen her so upset, very much unlike the Lynn I know, she said, shaking her head sadly. It took a full minute for her words to really sink in, and when they did, I felt dread worming its way through my skin. Wait, what do you mean you saw her? You saw Lynn? I
Oh
asked, my
man.
mouth suddenly dry. Rebecca nodded casually as if the fact wasn't nightmare fuel. Maybe for her it wasn't. She stopped by this morning just after Chris left for work. She said, cleaning.
I'm sorry. It's the Mickey Mouse voice that going back to yours, which is I'm loving.
She said, cleaning the plates from the table. I didn't see her car though. Maybe she took an Uber or something. Beck, what did she say? Did Did she come inside? I asked, sweat starting to break out of my forehead. I began looking around, examining corners as though a predator lurking behind them. No, she just asked if you were awake yet, and I said that you weren't. I asked if she wanted to wake you up, but I asked if she wanted to wake you up, but she just said no. Just said to let you sleep, she said as she washed the dishes. That's all? She didn't say anything else, I asked. No, she looked awful though, like she hadn't slept in days. I think you should call her. I think
I
that's
got
okay.
up. Thank you for that. That was a lot. I got up from the table and thanked Rebecca for lunch. I felt a little bit better at the knowledge. I felt a little bit better at the knowledge that at least she hadn't come inside. Still, I needed to double check that the doors were locked. I sat for a while trying to figure out what to do next. I didn't want to go home, but I felt like I owed it to Lynn to help her if I could. Hadn't I swore an oath to love and honor her through sickness and health? Clearly, she was very sick. If she was sick, which I truly believe she was, I had to try and get her the help she needed. But I didn't even know where to start. I didn't want to call the police, and besides, what the hell was I going to do? What the hell was I going to tell them? That my wife was peeking at me? That she was being creepy? As bizarre as she'd been, she still hadn't committed any crime. Not yet, anyway. The police would have probably said that I was overreacting, but this wasn't some prank. It felt wrong, dangerous even, like something sinister lurked beneath her smile.
Yeah, so sorry to cut you off,
No,
but
you're fine. You're
like
fine.
the fact that she didn't see her car and like stuff like that, that's what makes me feel like it's something else than his wife.
Yeah, listen to what this guy. What's his name? I forget his name. But listen to what he's got to say. Like,
Yeah,
hey, this is weird. How did she get here?
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Maybe you're right, Skinwalker.
It could be. I knew as her husband, I was well within my rights to have her committed. Oh,
Damn, escalated.
Mm.
But what if she simply acted normal in their presence? She'd obviously been able to fool Rebecca into thinking she was just a concerned wife. As long as the doctors didn't find her a danger to herself or others, they'd have no choice but to release her after 72 hours. I felt lost and overwhelmed. So I did what any husband in my position would do. I called her mother.
Hmm.
I didn't want to, believe me. Her mother, Mary Ann, and I were never on the best of terms. We never fought or anything like that. She just wasn't a very warm person and wasn't really easy to get along with. She hardly ever smiled, and when she did, only her lips would move into a thin lip smile, leaving her eyes as blank as before. She gave off this aura that she felt like she was permanently on the offensive. I only met her twice, and both times were such short visits. I got the impression she didn't approve of me for her daughter. Lynn always ushered us out quickly, as she didn't want to feel uncomfortable, which I was grateful for. Being in her mother's company felt almost unbearable, like walking on glass. I was glad when we moved 3 states away, so I didn't have to see her often. I was happy to avoid the woman, but I needed her help. I really didn't want to talk to her at all, but I had to talk to someone, and who knew Lynn better than I did? So I grit my teeth and did what I had to do.
All
Disco.
right, you got this. Let's go.
Yeah.
Marianne, it's Ben. Do you have a minute to talk? I asked. I could hear her cluck her tongue in irritation.
I'm in the middle of writing some checks, but if you insist, I suppose I can spare a moment. What is that you want to discuss, Benjamin? He said coolly.
It's about Lynn. She's been acting strangely, and I was wondering if you had any idea whether there was something. I was quickly interrupted.
It's a bit difficult to follow your rambling, Benjamin. What is it that you want from me? She asked.
I can almost see her standing there in her thin sweater and slacks, tapping her fingernails impatiently on the table.
I wanted to know if you'd ever noticed any odd behavior or possibly any mental issues. I asked. There was a long, uncomfortable pause that I couldn't tell was because she was just thinking or something else. Finally, after a few seconds, she spoke.
I'm not sure if this one is one of your jokes, Benjamin, but if so, I don't find the humor in it. Now I do have business to attend to, as I've said, so if you don't mind, she said, but I cut her off before she could get rid of me.
Marianne, it's not a joke. I'm sincerely concerned about Lynn's mental health. Her behavior has been very erratic lately. I'm very worried about her, and I figured as her mother, you would be as well. I said, my frustration evident in my voice.
If you're truly concerned, then I suggest you get the health professionals involved. I don't know what you expect of me. She snapped. I could tell she was seconds away from hanging up, and for some reason I was desperate not to let her. I had the feeling that she knew a lot more than she was letting on.
Please, if not for me, do it for Lynn. I tried. I
All
heard
right,
a faint
you got it.
yeah, I heard a faint shaky intake of breath, as if she were trying to hold her steely persona together but failing. Marianne, what's wrong? I started. That
Benjamin, I don't know what to tell you. My only advice would be to seek professional help. Do not call here again. Goodbye. I tried to call out to her, but she'd hung up.
I tried to wrap my head around the call and her refusal to help me. Even if she didn't like me, why wouldn't she want to help her own daughter? I couldn't understand that. I tried to replay the conversation, desperate to find something I missed. After a while, I almost gave up until I remembered her last words to me: seek professional help. She said those words with a bit of urgency. I could have just been grasping at straws, but no, I was sure that her voice had changed ever so slightly when she'd said that, as if they were very important. What had she meant? I assumed she'd been referring to medical professionals, but maybe she was referring to someone else. Someone that she didn't for some reason someone that she didn't for some reason feel comfortable saying directly. Or maybe I was just desperate. I waited for Chris to get home, and after a very long, exhausting conversation with him and Rebecca, I convinced them that Lynn truly needed psychiatric help. I didn't tell them everything, I wasn't prepared to go into it yet, but I told them about our last encounter, how she'd hid in the bathroom, peeking at me from the closet. They were obviously shocked, but thankfully they believed me. They too just wanted to help her. Still, they didn't think it was all that serious. Maybe weird, maybe, but not dangerous. They just kept saying that Lynn had to be playing some kind of weird joke.
maybe for you. Oh, maybe for YouTube. Rebecca offered, if only half-heartedly.
Chris didn't think we should involve the police just yet. He offered instead to go with me, and I readily accepted. He reasoned that calmly talking to her, trying to coax her into going willingly, was the best recourse. I agreed to do it his way. At least I wouldn't be going into the house alone. We drove over this morning just after breakfast. There was no way I was going at night. When we pulled into the driveway, my stomach began doing somersaults. Her car wasn't there, but I still didn't let my guard down. The front door was ajar, and for a split second, I thought we'd see her eyes staring through the gap. I was shaking and starting to sweat. Chris, however, was fine. He waited for me to open the door, his hands in his pockets like he was going on a fucking stroll through the park. I envied his ignorance. I pushed the door open and was immediately hit with the stench of rot. Chris smelled it too, and he walked in the house behind me with his nose scrunched up.
What do you guys use to clean the floors around here? Shit, Chris mumbled. Shut up, I said, my eyes darting around for any signs of Lynn. The house was. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the house was deadly quiet and dark despite it being 10 in the morning. All the curtains were closed up tight, refusing to allow any sunlight inside. If I haven't just left it 2 days prior, I'd have thought the house to be abandoned. We moved through each room, carefully checking any place that she might hide, occasionally calling her name.
Why the fuck are you looking under the couch, Chris? Eventually. Chris asked eventually. Aren't we looking for your wife? He was looking at me like I was a moron. Let's just go upstairs, I whispered. He shook his head but followed me up the stairs to check the bathroom and spare bedroom. On the way up, my shoes crunched over a piece of glass that looked to be littered over a few of the steps. This seems like now it's starting to seem like a possession. If the house is stinking, it's dark and
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the mom recognized this. Like the
yeah,
way she was acting, it's like this isn't the first time Lynn's acted like this.
yeah. She's probably getting possessed again.
If it's a possession,
Yeah.
she kept saying seek mental health.
Well, she
Um,
said, I don't know if she
she said
specifically
seek
said,
professional help.
yeah,
Not
professional.
Chris.
And he also, and Ben also said, he's like, hey, I don't know if she meant like a doctor or if there was something else she was alluding to that she didn't want to say directly.
Okay. I noticed that one of Lynn and my wedding portraits that hung on the wall along the staircase had been smashed. The frame hung crookedly, all the glass removed. I stared at the picture, a lump forming in my throat. We had taken the photos just after leaving the church, after saying our vows. She looked so beautiful in her white gown. I looked at Lynn's beautiful face. I never dreamed her face would ever be a source of terror for me. We climbed the rest of the steps and checked the spare bedroom, but it looked completely untouched. I was hesitant to go into the bathroom, my fear from that night coming back to me all at once. Chris noticed and offered to go in by himself, but I couldn't let him do that. So we walked in together, checking the closet and the shower. The bathroom looked as if it hadn't been touched since the night I left.
I don't think she's been here, Ben. Why don't you pack some clothes and we'll try coming back tomorrow or something, Chris said. I nodded and went into our bedroom and shoved some clothes into a duffel bag. When I checked inside our closet, I came across the source of the smell and gagged.
Chris took one look and lost all color in his face. He had to go stand by the stairs to get away from the sight and smell. I gazed down in shock at what lay inside my bedroom closet. Soaking into the rug were at least a dozen eyeballs, all carefully laid out in pairs. Some were as large as a quarter, while others were as tiny as a marble. I stared down at the eyes she'd collected from small animals, and I wondered how she'd gotten them, and shuddered at the thought.
Yeah, possession, bro. Man, I thought I had it bad with Becca's shoe addiction, but fuck me.
That's what you say when you see eyeballs in a closet. Well,
uh,
geez, I
that,
thought I had it bad.
that's definitely a brother's reaction, bro. That's hilarious. Your wife's in here collecting eyeballs, Chris said, gagging. Ben, I think we should go. He called from the hall. I'm getting nervous. All right, I grabbed my duffel bag and shut the closet door on my new nightmare. I stepped out into the hall and took a deep breath of air. I could taste the on my tongue and couldn't help but gag. Who the fuck lines up eyeballs in their closet like that? Chris mumbled. I tried to tell you she needed help, I said. She don't need help, Ben. She needs a fucking exorcist, he said. You coming or what? I can't stand the smell any. His words died in his throat and his eyes grew wide with fear.
I
I
didn't ask him why. I could feel it. Someone was watching me, and I didn't think it was the eyes in the closet. I turned around, my eyes slowly scanning the bedroom.
Christ, I whispered as I finally saw what we'd missed under the bed curled on her side watching us with the
I'm
excitement
sorry,
of
that deep sigh.
a had to catch my breath, bro. Running out of breath reading this shit. Watching us with the excitement of a kid on Christmas morning was my wife. She held her hands together just under her chin, and they were shaking eagerly.
Now that she knew she'd been found, I could hear the quiet noises she was making, a sort of hiccuping sound in her throat, as if the excitement was just too much for her. It was unnerving to say the least. Wide eyes and that same huge smile. Everything in me told me to run, but I forced it away. This was my wife. No matter how twisted, she was still the woman I married. I had to help her.
Lynn, I said softly. She didn't respond, but her head bobbed back and forth in two quick little movements as if she were nodding. Baby, I just want to help, okay? Can you let me do that? I asked. I had taken a single step forward, approaching her like some kind of dangerous animal. I love you, Lynn, I said softly, taking another step closer. She let a tiny moan escape her wide open mouth, and I had to resist the urge to run. Her shoulders were starting to quiver, and her eyes grew as large as saucers.
I crouched down so I could see her better, and immediately saw the blood. Her hands were covered in it. They trembled more the closer I got, as if she was barely able to contain herself.
Lynn, are you hurt? You're bleeding. I said. She bobbed her head again. Her bloody fingers were moving up and down as if playing an invisible piano. She occasionally grazed her chin, leaving smears of blood on her skin.
I wanted to recoil in disgust. The smell that was coming off her was revolting. I could feel the vomit trying to climb up my throat. Her lips were dry and stretched thin, blood seeping between the cracks. I knew she wouldn't come out on her own, but I didn't want her to leave in the state she was in. I scooted closer and reached out to her. The exciting hiccuping sound got louder and her hands shook, fingers flexing. It was then that I could see the blood oozing from in between her fingers.
Oh my God, Lynn, you're bleeding, I said. Instinctively, I reached out to take her hand, but before I could even touch her, her hand sprang out towards me. A sharp pain shot through my arm, and I fell back on my ass. My arm burned, and I could see the blood dripping down onto the carpet.
I
I
looked
looked,
back. I'm
yeah,
sorry, you got it.
yeah, okay. I looked back at her in shock and saw her grinning madly, her fingers clutching a large, sharp shard of glass. "You all right there?" Chris asked from behind. I turned my head slightly and nodded to him, cradling my arm to my chest. When I turned back to face Lynn, I saw that her focus had shifted. She wasn't looking at me anymore, and she wasn't smiling anymore either. She started. She was staring past me, her eyes glaring at the Chris the way a hungry lion might stare at an antelope. Her mouth was still hanging open, but it wasn't twisted into a snarl. I got to my feet and began walking backwards down the hall, afraid to take my eyes off of her. "Are you bleeding?" Chris asked. The moment the words left his mouth, Lynn started fast scooting out from under the bed, the glass shard still in her fist. "Chris, run, go!" I yelled. He must have been too afraid to move because a second later I felt my back bumped into him. He's still standing at the top of the stairs, staring at the horror that was my wife. Then I crawled completely out from under the bed and stood in the bedroom doorway, her face twisted in rage. Her whole body was visibly tense. Blood ran down her fingers onto the floor. "Jesus, Lynn," Chris said. "You playing hide and seek?" I reached back and pushed him towards the steps. "Move your ass, Chris," I said, as quietly but firmly as I could.
Lynn bobbed her head in fast, sharp motions and began to grin, stretching her mouth open wider and wider so that her chin seemed to touch her chest. I heard Chris mutter a prayer, and then he was running down the stairs. I stood at the top of the steps, stuck between the love for a woman who clearly needed serious help and self preservation.
"I only want to help," I said, choking back tears. Her eyes focused on me once again as she slowly lifted the glass, holding it out in front of her. And then she started sprinting towards me, grinning with utter excitement. Thankfully, my body took over and I flew down the stairs, skipping two or three at a time. I made it to the front door. I felt her leap onto my back, wrapping her arms around my neck, her open mouth next to my ear so that I can hear those terrible hiccup sounds up close. I shook her off me, knocking her to the floor. I felt a searing pain in my neck as she went, but I tore open the front door and bolted to my car.
Chris was standing in the front yard, talking on the phone with the police. I didn't say a word, I just ran to my car and jumped in. Chris took the hint and followed me, still on the line with 911. I watched the rearview mirror, sure I'd see her there, running after us, but I never did. I went straight to the ER and got 11 stitches in my arm and 3 on my back. The police asked a lot of questions and went back to the house to do a search, but of course, Lynn wasn't there. They advised me to stay with a friend or relative for a while and to file a restraining order as soon as I could, but none of those things would matter. Somehow I just knew. I dropped Chris off at home and went to a motel an hour away. I wanted to put as much distance between me and Lynn as I could. This is where I've been for the last 4 hours. I thought maybe the police would find her, maybe they'd get her the help she desperately needs. But now I don't think so, because 40 minutes ago, I got a text from an unknown number. Just 3 words.
I
I
found
found
you.
sorry.
And a picture attached. The picture was dark and grainy, but I instantly knew what it was. There was no mistaking my wife's eye. I started typing this out immediately after. I don't know what to do. I'm alone and scared, and I can't help but feel that I'm being watched. All right,
Dante.
we finished it.
Yeah.
Right.
That is
That,
interesting.
that was creepy. That was creepy as hell.
That
The
was
wife is
creepy. That
the
was
wife is insane.
that
You know
was
what I
some creepy
like? They
pasta.
did the thing that I like when it comes to horror.
Yeah.
They didn't reveal. We
Yeah.
don't know. We don't know if she's possessed. We don't know if it's something that's going on with her. It's always been the case because we don't like need to know. It's just enjoy the what's happening.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now the question is like, because I don't know much about creepypasta. Is this just stories people make up, or is these like real? Huh?
Yeah, the way it works is So basically, you're encouraged to write from the usually from the perspective of somebody who's experienced something, and you're going onto Reddit like you would other subreddits and be
Mhm.
like, "Hey, this crazy thing's happening. I need to tell somebody about it, or can you help me figure this out?"
Yeah, but
Whatever,
it's all
and
fiction.
yeah, it's all fiction,
Okay,
and then they tell a story,
nice.
and
Yeah,
that's how it works.
that's a
So
pretty good story.
yeah, did you guys enjoy it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, honestly, I did. It the creep factor is just insane. It makes me think of like my wife. I'm just like, what if this happens one day? Like, like what do I do? What
Yeah,
does
right.
one do when your wife just gets possessed?
That's the cool thing about it because it's not like you got like a lot of horror movies where like yeah it is possession this that, and the other, but this is literally just like I can't be in my own home with the one person I know I can trust. It's like that adds to the creepiness of anything.
Yeah,
So it's pretty cool. I do enjoy it. And anyway, that's why I know I've been getting back into it, like into creepypastas in general, because
yeah.
it's not all of them are like here's the Slenderman, you do this, or here's this that. Like there's some that are like this where it's just like here's a short little self-contained story. There's some cool stuff.
Like this was good. It had like a slow build up. Like she started doing this, then that, then this, and that, and then she went full, full psycho. Whether it's a mental thing or some type of possession or
Like, did something trigger it?
skinwalker. Yeah,
Like you know,
yeah.
but
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it was The
Mental
Shining.
break.
Bro.
watching The Shining,
Yeah,
honestly,
Shining did it.
maybe that broke her mentally. How scary that was for her.
could be. That's actually a good
If she
perspective.
said, "Here's Johnny," that would have been so funny.
No. But yeah, no,
Uh,
that was fun. I enjoyed that. Uh,
I'm down for another one. We gotta look up some more and
Yeah, I'm
drop
down to
some
do
more.
this again. This is
yeah.
definitely
So,
fun.
like I said, this was one I do remember hearing. Like as we were going, I was like, oh, okay, yes, I do remember this a little bit more.
Yeah.
Here's Henry. I just see a wife that loves her husband very much. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That also was taking
Yeah,
place.
that's some toxic love, bro.
Oh man,
Toxic
but
She
love.
gotta loosen up. She's just having a little fun.
yeah, Henry, if you enjoyed it, we'll probably do this again. Maybe I'll look up a couple creepypastas. Maybe we'll get into the SCPs.
Yeah, what's
Uh,
SCP stand for?
oof, Henry, you're probably gonna get it before me. I want to say it's search, contain, not protect. Search, contain something.
I'll
Um,
just look
ba-
it up.
yeah. So SCP shy guy. Thank you. Put that in our notes because I already know that's gonna be something we're gonna want to check out because I trust Henry on this. Um, so SCP basically imagine like the government, and Henry can probably explain better than me, but imagine like there's a secret
Okay,
organization
so
in the government.
here, let me read the wiki. The SCP Foundation is a fictional organization featured in stories created by contributors on the SCP Wiki, a wiki-based collaborative writing project launched in 2008. With the project's shared universe, the SCP Special Containment Procedure Foundation is a secret organization that is responsible for capturing, containing, and studying various paranormal, supernatural, and other mysterious phenomena known as anomalies or SCPs, while also keeping their presence hidden from the rest of society. That sounds cool.
So the real cool thing about it is the fact that
Mm.
it is a shared experience. So
Yeah.
it's like there will be like they'll have random numbers. Like I don't know any of them obviously, but it's like SCP-11 could be a story about. I've heard about the IKEA store. I've been wanting to check that one out.
Nice.
There's like SCP-11 where let's say it's some type of like entity that erases people's memories,
Yeah.
and then reference SCP-12,
I
which is
think I
something
have that one.
later on you'll read like SCP 342, and they're like, yeah, so we're using the chemical that was obtained by SCP 11, and
Yeah.
it's just like they kind of share this world. They'll share characters sometimes.
Nice.
It's some pretty cool stuff. Henry's
Yeah.
just going, just like he's like putting
Like
things in.
doctor. Nice. All right. Yeah, we'll definitely check some of those out. I'm definitely down to do this one again. It was very
Yeah,
entertaining. At
yeah,
least
I
to
enjoyed
me.
it. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed your guys' voices. Thank you.
You're welcome. We tried our best. You
That
think
was
we can
that
get
was
into
quality
voice
theater.
acting?
All
Yeah.
right. Oh
Mhm.
man. No, there was no, because there was Islam at the beginning. Like you were getting disco at one point. It sounded like Michael Jackson. It
He did. He did.
sounded like
Yeah.
That's so
Michael
funny.
Jackson. You were doing the mom. It's like
Yeah.
you need to find professional help.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's
Nailed it.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll try to get a voice. For this. But
yeah.
no, this was fun. This was fun. This is something Henry suggested forever ago, and we're just now getting to it.
Yeah. Hey, better late than never.
But never late is better, sir. But yes. So we did a podcast.
We did a podcast. What are your final thoughts, guys?
um, no, man, this was fun. Look forward to doing it more. Um, yeah, man, that's all I got.
Nice disco.
Um. Man, yeah, it was good to have like an entertaining topic. Makes me want to go to the movies or something. And I want to watch Obsession and A Passenger. A couple movies that are coming out, kind of on my list. So
Yeah. Oh, Henry said, "I need time cop Islam edition."
Henry's been asking for the time cop. You know what, Henry? You asked for this first, and you saw how long it took for us.
Yeah.
So that time cop's coming. Just give us a couple of years.
Yeah.
it's on its way. It's in production.
And before I forget, I'm gonna like just make a note of these ones that Henry's suggesting.
Yeah. My final thoughts are I've been in a slump with like movies and TV shows and stuff. Nothing just seems interesting or good to me right now. I don't know.
Welcome to my world, sir.
Your world sucks, bro.
I know.
It
I
sucks.
know. I've been
'Cause
saying this.
I'm just like struggling to find something.
I
That's
feel like shows that I
interesting.
normally like too just aren't hitting either. It's been
Exactly
weird, right?
stuff that I
Like
used to watch that I was excited for. Like I recently watched season 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen. It was okay. The first two seasons, I was like, losing my shit over, and I was just like super excited to watch them. I was just like, all right, I watched it, and it hurt my heart. Damn, it hurt my heart. But yeah, it kind of sucks. Like, none of these shows or movies, and even anime now, is just like a lot of these aren't exciting or
So
like
the thing
giving me
is,
that joy that I used to have when I was watching them.
so you're like I said, you're basically doing what I live with. You're dealing with it.
Yeah,
Now wait till the part where you get to the point where it's like at least you're enjoying the beginning of it. You're enjoying season 1, season 2, season. Wait till you're just like, okay, I'm 20 minutes in, I'm done.
yeah.
That's where I'm at. That's where it's just like you got to win me over early. If you can't do it, I'm finished with you.
Henry, I don't know if I can do K dramas, man.
Some of them are good.
I I don't know. Maybe I'll give one a try. You can suggest one. I'll put in the LWGF group chat. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe this will go full circle, and I get so bored of TV and shit, and I'll start reading books again. I don't
Yeah,
know.
read
Maybe
books, play
that's
video
the way.
games.
Yeah, I do need to play video games, but yeah, I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
get some audiobooks.
Yeah, I
I
do have
recommend Dungeon
audiobooks.
Crawler Carl, and I recommend Expeditionary Force.
Yeah,
And you like the what was that sci-fi show that got picked up by Amazon?
The Expanse.
The Expanse, dude. There's so many Expanse books out there. Like
Yeah, man.
I've been wanting to get into them. I just keep putting it off. But like,
Me
there's like the actual
too.
books. There's the novellas.
But
Like
there's
you know.
this other book series about dragons
Okay.
that seemed interesting that I was like maybe I'll get into something. But yeah, I think that might be my next venture is to get
Yeah,
back into books again because everything
definitely.
else just sucks.
And a
The
couple
My
Dune
months
God.
ago,
series was good too. Pretty
the
good.
what? Oh, Dune.
People,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dune.
A
I want to
couple.
get back into like the I Am Number 4 series.
Okay.
I always found the movie sucked, but I found it interesting enough that I was like maybe I should read the books.
A couple months ago, I finally finished the Dexter books.
Nice.
So I guess forgot to tell you guys. But those are cool too because it's literally like think of it like as an alternate universe for the Dexter we know because it goes in a completely different direction. So it's pretty cool.
Henry said to do Warhammer 40k.
Oh, Warhammer
They have a
40K.
lot of
Yeah.
books, and you'll be closer to your first love, Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Even better, start off with Warhammer and then get to 40k. You'll just do that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I don't know if I have that type of patience now, but yeah. Anything else, guys, before we head out?
No.
Henry, thank you so much for joining us. It's always fun to have you in the chat. Love having you here. Everyone else, thank you for checking us out. Thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, don't forget to follow us on social media, like, subscribe, share, rate, and review. Um, and have a great week.